Mary Bell was an English woman who at age 11 killed two preschool-age boys in England in 1968. In both instances, Bell informed her victim that he had a sore throat, which she would massage before proceeding to strangle him. This makes Mary Bell England's youngest female killer. Welcome to How to Deal. If you enjoy true crime stories and learning about new serial killers, please sub to the page to stay up to date with our content. Now let's begin. Mary Bell was born on May 26, 1957 in England. Her mother was a 17-year-old well-known sex worker. Mary was an unwanted and neglected child. According to her aunt, within minutes of Mary's birth, her mother had deflected hospital staff from attempting to place her daughter in her arms, shouting, "Take that thing away from me!" Throughout her early childhood, it was believed that her mother was trying to kill her. Bruises were clear signs of physical abuse. Mary's mother is known to have once sold Mary to a mentally unstable woman who was unable to have children of her own. This resulted in her older sister to reclaim Mary from this individual and return the child to her mother. Mary's mother, who worked as a dominatrix, encouraged her clients to sexually abuse her daughter and perform horrible and unspeakable acts to perform on a young girl. Both at home and at school, Mary showed numerous signs of disturbing behavior, including sudden mood swings and constant bedwetting. She fought frequently with other children, both girls and boys, and had attempted to strangle or suffocate a few classmates. Mary, who would spend her free time with Norma Bell, an older girl and daughter of a next-door neighbor. Although the girls shared the same last name, they were not related. On Saturday, May 11, 1968, a 3-year-old boy was found wandering, dazed, and bleeding in the vicinity of St. Margaret's Road, Scotswood. The child told police he had been playing with Mary and Norma Bell atop an air raid shelter when he had been pushed 7 feet from the roof to the ground, inflicting a severe laceration to his head. The same evening, the parents of 3 small girls contacted police to complain that both Mary and Norma had attempted to strangle their children as they played in a sandpit. The police was notified of the incident and of Mary's violent nature, but due to their age, both girls were simply given a warning. No further action was taken. In the 1960s, Newcastle experienced a significant urban renewal project. Many inner boroughs of the city was demolished so that modern houses could be constructed, creating many abandoned houses and leaving many families waiting to be rehoused by the council. On May 25, 1968, the day before her 11th birthday, Mary Bell strangled 4-year-old Martin Brown in an upstairs bedroom of an abandoned house. Brown's body was discovered by 3 children playing through the house as well. The next day, on Mary's birthday, she and Norma broke into and vandalized a local nursery. The 2 tore books, flipped over desks, and smeared paint all around. Once investigators arrived, they found 4 notes left behind. One stated, "I murder so that I may come back." Another read, "We did murder Martin Brown. Fuck off, you bastard." A third note simply read, "Fuck off, we murder. Watch out, Fanny and The final note was the most complex and the longest, making no coherent sense at all. The police dismissed this incident as a tasteless and childish prank. On July 31, 1968, a 3-year-old named Brian Howe was last seen by his parents in the street outside his house playing with his siblings, the family dog, and Mary, Bell, and Norma. Concerned relatives and neighbors searched the streets all night, till a search party discovered Brian's body between 2 large concrete blocks upon the derelict houses. The coroner concluded that Brian had died of strangulation. The killer had evidently squeezed Brian's nostrils closed with one hand as he or she had gripped his throat with the other. Numerous puncture wounds have been inflicted to the child's leg before death. His genitals have been partially mutilated, and a crude attempt have been made to carve the initial M into his stomach. The small amount of force used to murder the child led the coroner to conclude the killer was another child. Over 100 detectives from across Northumberland were assigned to the investigation, and more than 1,200 children have been questioned with regard to their whereabouts. Detectives questioned both Mary and Norma after being tipped that they was the last one playing with Brian before his disappearance. The disparities between their testimony aroused more suspicion. A forensic examination of clothing owned by both girls revealed fibers discovered upon Brian's body and Martin Brown to be a precise match. Both girls were formally charged with the murder of Brian Howe on the evening of his funeral. In response to this charge, Mary replied, "That's all right by me." Shortly after their arrest, both girls underwent psychological evaluations. It revealed that Norma was intellectually delayed and a submissive character who easily displayed emotion, whereas Mary suffered from a psychopathic personality disorder. The trial lasted 9 days. After hours of testimonies, Norma was acquitted of all charges. Mary Bell was cleared of murder, but convicted of manslaughter of both boys and was sentenced to be detained at Her Majesty's pleasure. At the time of Bell's manslaughter convictions, she was aged 11 years and 6 months, making her Britain's youngest female killer, a statistic which remains to the present day. Mary Bell was released from prison in May 1980 at the age of 23, having served almost 11 and a half years in custody. She was granted anonymity, including a new name, allowing her to start a new life elsewhere in the country under an assumed identity amongst society. Mary Bell's case is a tragic and disturbing chapter in true crime history. It forces us to confront uncomfortable questions about the intersection of childhood, trauma, and a criminal behavior. Did Mary Bell's story traumatize you? Should she still be in prison? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching.